Yo, what's good, guys? I'm Darren, and I'll be sharing my stories, my experiences, my views, and my thoughts on a range of topics from music to sports to food and a bunch of other stuff. This is the show about anything and everything for anyone and everyone. This is the Ep.1 podcast. Let's go! What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Ep.1 podcast. I'm your host, Darren. Now, with the preseason already underway, today's episode will be about basketball, and to be more specific, the NBA. Alright, so today I'll be talking about why I love the sport of basketball. I'll also be talking about my favorite player currently and the team that I support, the Miami Heat. And I will also be talking about my expectations for the upcoming season. Alright, so now before I begin, I want to take a few seconds to honor the late great Kobe Bryant. Now, I felt that if I were to do episodes about basketball, that the first episode I did, that I would honor the Black Mamba himself. So, Kobe, thank you so much for everything that you've done for the game. We all love you and we miss you. And rest well, Mamba. We love you. Alright. So with that, let's get started. So, why I love basketball. So now, where did that come from? Okay, so I feel like it started ever since I was a baby, I'd say. Now, how's that possible, right? Okay, so I feel like I have this weird connection with Michael Jordan. I know it's weird. Now, here's why. Now, ever since I could remember, my favorite number has been 23. It still is till this day. And I was born on the 23rd of February. And also, my mom said that the first movie I ever watched was Space Jam. Alright, so now, coincidence? I think not. Okay, so, yeah, and so it's because of MJ, I really fell in love with the game of basketball. Started playing a lot. And, obviously growing up, I never got to watch MJ play live, and but I've always been able to watch a lot of his films, and I really tried to impart some of his mentality, a lot of his footwork, his fadeaways into my game. And I'm not great by any means, but yeah, I'm still working on my game. All right, now I really loved the way MJ dominated his opposition, his opponents, right? He always struck fear into the heart of his opponents, and everybody always feared him. And I love the way he plays both sides of the ball, and he plays both sides of the ball with so much heart, and he never takes a night off, and every possession it's just all the way, right? It's just all out. And he never shied away from taking that last shot, that ever important game-winning shot. And it's just that sort of thing about MJ that I loved, and it's that sort of thing that made me fall in love with basketball. And it's MJ, right? Everybody knows MJ. Everybody knows the legend that is MJ. And so since young, because of MJ, I supported the Chicago Bulls. Now, I supported the Chicago Bulls throughout the D-Rose era, up till the Jimmy Butler, D Wade, and Rondo era, or year, right? I wouldn't call that an era. Now, I absolutely loved D-Rose, right? Now, I still believed that he would have been a top 4 or 5 point guard if he hadn't gotten hurt. And it was just his athleticism, his speed, his savvy, his his footwork, his spin moves, his crossovers. He had everything, right? And if only he hadn't gotten hurt. And I still support D Rose to this day. And that 50-point game for Minnesota. Oh wow, that was sensational, right? And it was shot after shot. He went up against I think it was Rudy Gobert, right? He just went to the rim, and it was a lot of N1s, and he took a lot of threes, and man, that game was sensational, and I just loved that so much, and I was just so happy for him. And as a D Rose supporter, it got a bit emotional. I was a bit teary-eyed, but I didn't cry. I didn't cry. All right, and I just couldn't be happier for him, and I love D Rose, so that was a really really proud moment for me. All right, so now that brings me to my favorite player currently. Now, ever since D Rose got hurt, right? Ever since D Rose went down, I developed an appreciation for Jimmy Butler. Now, I've been following and supporting him ever since. Okay, so we all know Jimmy Butler started off as a bench player, and he was an all-defense guy. He never really had an offense to him, right? But he developed it over time, and he just look at the player that he is now, and he's still a great defender, and he can put up points at the same time, and that's one of the things that I love about him. Okay, so I feel that Jimmy is one of the most underrated players in the NBA today. And it's not all for bad reasons. Okay, so Jimmy ain't a numbers guy. He never fills up the stat sheets. Okay, and I feel like he's a team first guy. And rather later on in his career, when he developed as a playmaker and leader, it was when his assists started to rise with every season, right? And he can put up big numbers if he chose to, and when he wants to, and when his team needs him to, and he's more than capable of doing it, right? And now stats don't really do Jimmy and his game justice, right? It's he brings so much to the table, to the game, and to his team. He does a lot. Right? He plays both sides of the ball. As we all know, he started off as a defense only guy, and he started developing his offense. And just look at him now. He can average a triple double if he wanted to, right? And I feel like his defense doesn't, or rather, rarely gets much recognition, right? And it was only recently when he was steals leader with 2.1 steals a game, right? Which was when he got that steals leaders title. Okay, so one of the things that I love about Jimmy is that he's not afraid to hold his teammates accountable. He's not afraid to be brutally honest, and I feel that being brutally honest, it might rub some people the wrong way, but I feel like it is necessary sometimes to be able to sort of get the best out of someone, right? And he's not afraid to call you out, right? And he also invites his teammates to do the same, right? He wants them to be straight up with him, to call him out whenever they need to, or whenever they feel like he's not up to his standards in a particular game, right? And I also think that his leadership has gone unspoken, right? So just look at Chicago, right? When D Rose went down and ultimately got traded to the Knicks, and then you look at Minnesota, right, with Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins, right? And they were locked for third seed until Jimmy got hurt. And then he came back and he brought them back to the playoffs after a 14-year-long drought. Okay, and then you look at Philly, right, with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. Okay, it took a miracle shot from Kawhi Leonard to beat them in Game 7. But I won't take away anything from Kawhi, because he ultimately was unstoppable his playoff run that season. And his stats were incredible. Okay, one of the best. And he was unstoppable. All right. Now, you look at those teams after Jimmy left, and it speaks for itself, right? Okay. Which now leads me to the Miami Heat, the team that I currently support and love. Okay, so I've been supporting Pat Riley, Coach Spo, and the Miami Heat ever since Jimmy got acquired. Now, don't get me wrong, I always loved D Wade, and I believe that he will always be a top 3 shooting guard in history. And I feel like that, and I feel like his career has really is really not as recognized as a lot of the other players in history, right? But I've really gotten to know about Miami Heat and its culture, right? And that it's not for everybody, and it's really a no-nonsense type of mentality, and that is why I love and support the Miami Heat. Alright, so obviously last year was tough, after being swept, by the Milwaukee Bucks after having gone to the finals and bringing the Lakers to 6 games in the bubble, right? Last year was tough, and that's in the past. And I'm excited for this season. I'm excited for the upcoming season with the new acquisitions. But I don't want to call the Miami Heat title contenders yet. It's, for me, it's still too early, and but I feel like the Miami Heat have the right tools to compete on all levels. With the acquisition of Kyle Lowry, PJ Tucker, Markieff Morris, and bring Tyler Hero back. He's looking fresh, he's looking stronger, and he's looking ready. And then bringing Duncan Robinson back, giving him his money. He's a sharp shooter in this league. And he has so much to improve on, especially on defense. And, I believe that this season he'll show. And, Jimmy and Bam is Jimmy and Bam. They'll do what they normally do and what they always do. And, they're the heart and soul of this team. So now with Kyle and Markieff and PJ Tucker, I feel like they have the right tools and mix to compete on all fronts and all levels. Alright, so I am excited, and I hope that this season will result in something positive. And but for now, it's still too early to tell, especially with all the hype that the Miami Heat is getting. Some say that they had the best off season. Some say that the Miami Heat are title contenders. But for me, it's still too early to tell. Especially with chemistry and all. How will it work out, right? And as the season progresses, and I'll be doing more episodes, and I'll be talking about games and how the Miami Heat is progressing, and maybe then I might be convinced that the Miami Heat are actual title contenders. I'm hopeful that they will be. Alright, I can't wait, and I hope you guys can too. Alright, I'm so excited for the upcoming season, and with new rules like you can't initiate contact, right? You see a lot of guys like Steph and Trey Young, and when they shoot, when they pump fake, and then they jump into the opponent, so stuff like that is not allowed anymore. And I'm just so excited for the upcoming season, and I can't wait. All right. So now with that, thank you guys so much for watching and listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And as usual, if you enjoyed this episode, I invite you guys to give a thumbs up. And I also invite you guys to subscribe to this YouTube channel and my Instagram for more updates on the N1 podcast. Now, let me know about your expectations for the upcoming season. Who do you guys think is going to win the chip? Alright, I can't wait to hear. Now, I'll catch you guys soon. Peace.